My name is Ruckus, and I'm 10-8. After a couple days, can't keep a good man down. Y'all know that. Okay. How is everybody doing? Again, housekeeping. Been shaving. Had physical therapy today, and actually today sucked. Today's physical therapy sucked ass. But you guys may or may not know that YouTube does a scan periodically, and they look at people's backgrounds and stuff like that, and music, background music and everything. And they look for any copyright infringements, and evidently I was guilty of that. So they sent me an email basically saying that I had to stop and that they were going to delete my video because of the background that I had of the person walking. It was like a POV of somebody walking in the redwood forest. Now, the gentleman who owns that channel, it goes under the Flying Dutchman. His name's Mark, nice guy. I reached out to him and apologized. He assured me that it was not him that did that YouTube was able to scan that on their own and find that on their own. So I believe him. He's a nice guy. There's nothing he can do. But he said he does put a lot of time, effort, and money into making those. So I don't blame him. Now, can you guys, I don't even know if anybody's watching, to be honest with you. Can everybody hear me okay and see me okay? I hope. If you can't, I'll always wish that you could. So I got that going for me. There's a few things I want to cover today. The last one that I had to delete was 2 hours long. It's crazy. Yes, yes. Hi, Tina. How are you, dear? Hi, Deja Vu. Yes, I will try and keep it clean tonight, Tina. It shouldn't be too difficult. I'm not not that bad. If I don't pay attention to it, it's kind of like my Boston accent. Every once in a while, it'll sneak out. Okay, now, anybody that watched the last one or rewatched it or whatever, the Keegan Kline police interview transcript, right? I call that into question because to me, nobody's validated it yet in law enforcement, anyways. And I actually, Chupa sent me a message in Discord. It was kind of sweet, but at the same time, it made me feel bad. She sent me what appears to be a photo of a text that Brian Kofager's neighbor was sending to him the day after the murders, asking if he wanted to go out to a bar and stuff, and he basically told him no, that he didn't feel well, and yada 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 yada. Oh, deja vu. 2's better than 1. 2 beers is much better than 1. 2 beer limit. That'll get you into a comedy show. 2 drinks. Or strip joints. Some strip joints are 2 drink minimums. But anyways, she sent that to me, and it hasn't been, nobody has validated that or anything like that. It hasn't been vetted. And she made a point to point that out, and she put, I know you're a stickler for information being valid and stuff like that. And I sent back to her, I hate to come off like that, and I apologize. I'm not trying to be a stickler. I am just trying not to put out clickbait for views, and that's what the thumbnail is, and that's kind of what the basic gist of tonight's live is going to be. Now, I was looking at the analytics, right? When they made me take that video down, I had a choice. I could take it down and lose all the view times and stuff like that, all the statistics, or they would take it down and put a strike on me. I would have a strike. So I just took it down. You know, I don't care. Ruckus is tickler. You do, you ruckus. Yeah. Well, you know, ruckus in the dictionary means a low disturbance, and I'm not very low. That was actually the name of one of my favorite dogs I've ever had, a little Boston Terrier named Ruckus, and he was a low disturbance. There's no doubt about it. So, anyways, I took that video down because I did not want to get a strike. So it wasn't worth it to even fight it. Like I said, the guy who owned the background video is really cool, so I don't look at it as I lost the video. I made a friend out of that whole situation. So, and I certainly don't want to piss off YouTube. I'm just getting started on this stuff, and I'm not ready to pack it in yet. So this bar that Brian's neighbor allegedly texted him and wanted him to go out and have a couple drinks. I guess they had a, well, I'm not even going to say, I guess. She did a little bit of homework and sent me some screenshots of Yelp. There was a couple Yelp reviews. And, well, actually, there was one. Shit, I don't even want to say a couple. I saw one where this one girl said there's always a bunch of creepy guys following the girls around. The management doesn't do anything about it. Well, evidently, the owner's a female, and she responded to that review and said that no, being a female, she doesn't like that either, and she would look into it and all that stuff. So the fact that this guy's creepy kind of triggers people to say, you know, well, maybe that was him, maybe he was involved, and he may well could have been. And I appreciate the information. I really do. I just don't see how it impacts what's going on. You know, if there was an issue, if there was a specific issue where he was bothering somebody, that would be different. But there's just no way, Chupa. There's no way to verify any of that stuff. If you look at the photo, it's kind of a side view of somebody's phone, and the top part of it's cut off, and I understand that. But most people, even an old guy like me, would take a screenshot of that if I wanted to disseminate that information. Or if I was just taking a picture of somebody else's phone with my phone, I certainly wouldn't hold it at arm's length and take a picture of it. You know what I mean? So I question that whole thing. And please, Chupa, I'm not being a stickler. That's just the way I think. You know, there's just too much shit going on out there. I know you guys have heard about the crime scene, leaked crime scene photos. Hey, they're not crime scene photos. They're evidence photos, pictures of where evidence was located. And one was a black shoe, Nike shoe, and it had a tie-down shirt next to it. That was quite obvious. And then a white object that I've heard, you know, people call it a bag or whatever. All of it could be trash. I'm not even sure that was at Deer Creek. That could have been any body of water. So, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I'm calling hogwash and bullshit on that. But I've watched a couple because, I fall for it too. I fell for the clickbait. Leaked crime scene photos from Delphi. And right away, my spidey sense goes up and says, bullshit. That's fucking, potty mouth. That's bullshit. Nothing's going to get leaked at this point, kids. Nothing. Not one thing is going to get leaked. That's not going to happen. So anything you see up to this point, and here's the deal, there's nothing to talk about right now on the Idaho 4 or the Delphi case. There's nothing to talk about right now, so people are making shit up. I don't know. I can't remember what this guy's name JBL, JBR, just in something reports or investigates. He wears a hat that says media on it. And he went to Delphi and he screamed out when Richard Allen was walking by. He screamed something out to him. I didn't even watch it. I wouldn't give him the time of day, to be honest with you. But that guy, and I don't like to talk about many people, but that guy's an idiot. That guy's a nitwit, man. He drives. Where's he get his money? He's got a piece of shit car, so it's not like he's a trust fund kid. But he's traveling around between Delphi and Idaho, Moscow, Idaho, and just walking around. You know, oh, you know who I'm talking about, Tina? Is JBL or JRL or whatever. It's just my opinion, and I would love it if he reached out to me. And maybe he's not an idiot, you know, but he's, to me, he's a sensationalist. Everything he puts on there is clickbait to get you to click on it. Now, he was walking along a fence line yesterday talking about, well, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about Zena's mom and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know, who you're on the fence about, dude? STFU. You know, nobody cares what you have to say, but obviously they do. He came across a bonanza where he got like a whole ton of subscribers off of doing a few things, traveling around crime scenes in Idaho and in Delphi. So, and he wears a hat that says media until there's a cop or real media around, then he takes it off and then he puts it back on. So, but he was talking about Zena's mom, right? Talking a little smack about her. She needs to take responsibility with her life and all that, and da 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 da. And I had to shut it off at that point. I don't know how much farther it went, but I could just imagine, because you know people were talking and all that and going ape shit. So he's, to me, he's an oxygen thief. He's stealing my oxygen for no apparent reason. Whatever he studied for, because he's in media, I'm sure he's a journalist of some sort, right? He must be, has to be. He needs to go do that and stop doing what he's doing. I've already stopped him in my eyes. He's not, I'll never see him again. Ever. I'll never click on anything of his ever again. He'd have to really trick me. You know who's tricked me a couple times? That Mind Shock dude. Don't realize it's Mind Shock till afterwards. But he's another one. And Far Out Theories. He disguises his voice. Why would you trust anybody like that? But he comes up with some off the wall shit and clickbait. When I first started watching all this true crime stuff, he got me more than once with his clickbait verbiage. You know, even the news does it. When they were talking about Keegan Klein's search warrant, they come out in the news, say, yeah, and the FBI and local law enforcement raided Keegan Klein's house. They didn't raid anything, man. They're just using that word to build it up, to make it sound more sensational. They didn't raid anything. They knocked on the door and said, hey, we got a search warrant. It's not like when they went to Brian's house. Now, that was a raid. That was a no knock. No knock means no knock. Kick the door in, bust the windows out, SWAT goes in. But with Keegan Klein's, it's knock, knock, knock. Hey, Mr. Klein, look, we have this search warrant to search your property and get all your electronic devices. But, you know, they were using shit like raid and all that. And I just hate all of that shit. But, you know, since I'm dropping a few names, and I really don't care to do that, but ATS, Amber, Amber Truth Searcher, she is really good. Her channel, they don't mind. They'll entertain theories and all that. And I've made comments on there, and she makes it a point to read my comments and let everybody know that, you know, I'm retired law enforcement, and you know, basically that I know what I'm talking about. But I don't ever dive into. I'm not trying to deflect anybody. if it looks like everybody in chat has a question about a procedure or something like that, I just kind of clarify it, you know. But Amber's a sweetheart, and she does a great job, and she's got tons and tons of subscribers, and all of her moderators have their own channels, and they all get along great, you know. And I love that. I love that to death. But I don't want to rehash everything that I went over the last one that I had to delete. But let me ask you guys this, and this is something new since then. The public defender in Idaho. Okay, I guess there's an issue where she may have to recuse herself because she was representing Zena's mom in a drug case. I didn't know Zena's mom had a drug problem. I didn't know Zena's mom had been arrested on drug charges and all that, but all that means zero zip to me. Nothing. Why it's even being talked about, why that JBL investigates, whatever his name is, he needs to get JBR needs to get a JOB is what he needs to do. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter which public defender represents Brian Kohlberger. They're behind the 8 ball. Whoever it is, unless something really drastic happens, they're gonna lose. So basically, you'd be taking that case just to get your name in the newspaper and on TV for something that you're gonna lose. But what makes that public defender, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Now, I guess that Anne, she's decided to let go of Zena's mom's case and stay with Brian Kohlberger. It's not too late in the case for her to switch right now. It's pretty early in the case. So if another public defender wanted to take over, they have conflict attorneys. That's their job in the public defender's office. Now, obviously, she couldn't represent a victim and a suspect at the same time. She can't. And that's not what's happening here, but it's close to that. So people are making a big deal out of it, but it does not matter. It does not matter which attorney represents Brian Kohlberger. They're going to lose. They're going to lose. There's just way too much evidence. And that's not me, dictating the outcome of this. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but he did it. There's just no way around that. There's no way around that at all. So whoever gets that, whether it's Anne or if they give another public defender that, then they're going to lose anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I was looking at, since all this stuff came up where I had to take down the video and everything, I was looking at the analytics, right? And thank you guys, because subscribers are like 80% of my watch time. So that's really cool. It's not people dipping in and dipping out. I only have 50 or 51 of you guys, but I think it's cool that you guys stay and watch it. Now, the average watch time's like 8 minutes. So I'm going to try moving forward to get all the good stuff in 8 minutes right up front, right before anything else. Because these other YouTubers, and some of them I respect, right? And one guy, this guy Fish, his last name's Fish, 0 law enforcement experience. This guy was talking about the leaked crime scene photos. And it was the same photos that are circulating around that are not only are they not leaked, they're not legit. I'm here to tell you. Nobody's told me that. No law enforcement has told me that. But they're just not legit. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. But this asshole keeps saying that, but he keeps talking. I was pointing out to my wife. I was like, look at this guy. What an asshole. He's dragging this out. I've already seen the pictures, so I know what they are. But he wants the viewing time. He gets paid by viewing time with his ads. So he's just being an asshole. He's dragging it out. and talking about anything and everything to drag it on, drag it on. Well, then he goes out and says, well, I default to transparency. What does that even mean? You default to transparency. You want to be transparent? Say, hey, listen, the longer you guys watch, the more money I make. I'd respect that at least. I'd still click them off, but at least I'd respect that, you know? So, Kevin Greenlee, right? He was on, I don't know if you guys heard of Rick Snay, Delphi After Dark, but Kevin Greenlee and Anna were on his show the other night. Now, we all know what my opinion is about those Keegan Kline transcripts with law enforcement from the interrogation or interview, whatever you want to call it. But it's never been acknowledged or confirmed or verified by law enforcement. So I take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's not valid, but I'm not positive that it is. I don't know who redacted it. It appears that Kevin Greenlee did. Well, you know, who is he? How are you going to leave stuff in there about would you give my dad a blowjob? But then you want to take out other things where you could just redact the person's screen name. You know, who decides all that? So I'm calling shenanigans on that whole document until I get some clarification, which really clouds the water. Hey, kid, what's up? What's up? Hey, time. Which really clouds the water because there's a bunch of information on there that is like guiding this whole process with Delphi. Now, the Dropbox, the mention of the Dropbox, that's the only place we hear about the Dropbox. Now, his charges are exploitation, soliciting, and amongst others is dissemination of pornographic materials. So that could mean Dropbox. It could mean anything. He had a bunch of electronic devices, so he could have been doing it that way. But that's, who's to know? I mean, they leave that open for interpretation. So there's a lot of things that came from that document, from that transcript, that we all take as written in stone. Well, the shit's just not moving that way. It's not moving towards the Klines like you think it would with the information that we're getting from that one document. So it's not moving towards the Klines at all. At all. When I know that it should be, and it's going to, and it probably is. It's just behind the scenes. Now, does that mean that Kevin Greenlee's lying? No. I got a chance to ask him, and he said the way he got it was him and Anna were going to send something to Keegan. They forgot his address. And I'm just going to say this out loud. To me, that sounds sketchy. How the heck do you not know Keegan Kline's address? That's all you guys have been doing for 5 years. You're going to tell me that all of a sudden you forgot where Keegan Kline was and you went to look up his address and boom, these two documents are on there and you immediately download them without even looking at them, straight out of his mouth. Straight out of Kevin's mouth, downloaded them without even looking at them, and then went back a second later and they were gone. How convenient. How convenient is that? And then they reached out to law enforcement on the state and federal level asking if it was okay to release those documents. Even if they did get them, and I'm not saying they're lying, even if they did get them from the public portal, from the section of my case that's available to the public, okay? Even if they did get them from there, they weren't supposed to be there. They're not for public consumption. It was never meant for that. If it did happen like that and it was a mistake, and I'll address that in a second, it's not for public consumption. I cannot see the local, state, and federal government law enforcement agencies giving Kevin Greenlee and Anna of Murder Sheets the green light to post this out for everybody and his brother to see. All the news agencies that reported on that are all shady as AF. Okay, they all use creative editing with the way they put out stories, and they're full of it. And I'm sure you guys, it kicks in your brain. You might not realize it, but you can hear when the reporter's asking questions. They're sitting at their desk in a controlled environment. Meanwhile, the person that's answering the questions is outside. It's BS. They're doing that post, changing the questions and stuff like that. They all do it. They're all guilty of it. They're sensationalists. They don't care about the truth. That's the last thing in the world they care about is the truth. They just don't care. They could care less. But people on YouTube putting out that they have leaked crime scene photos and new information and all that. Stop. Find something else to talk about, man. Find something. I'll get a hobby for a while until the new information comes out, because you're just making me sick. Not that you care if you're making me sick. Tina, you got me thinking so much about cussing. I don't even want to say crap. I don't want to say the word crap, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind. Now it looks like they're going to be picking the jury pool from 2 different counties. I'm not familiar. Tina would be able to tell me. I'm not familiar with that area. Where are those counties from? Are any of them near you or anything like that? I haven't heard whether or not they're going to bus or however they're going to deal with the jury members, or if they're going to put them up in a hotel or whatever they're going to do. They certainly haven't. They haven't put that information out at all. Okay, so do I what? Tina, what? And you keep forgetting a C in my name. You know that, right? Are you doing that on purpose? Are you trying to make me cuss so you can yell at me? It's RUCKUS. But I don't know where this jury's coming from or anything like that. So I'm curious as to where those are at all. But it's like everything that I hear now, I'm glad that they can't see me, to be honest with you, because I have like an incredulous smile when I'm watching this shit. When they're like, yeah, and I have crime scene photos. I'm like, that face. Incredulous, like I don't believe a word you're saying. But they can't see me, so what do they care? So here, this is for all you guys. Really? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you stuck on stupid? SOS? You can't think that I'm that dumb, but I'll just give you that incredulous smile. I don't believe you, not one bit. Allen County's in Fort Wayne, where the judge is from. Far, okay. And you're south. You're south. All jury members, they should get a Lamborghini. That would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it, kid? I would go for that. Okay, so I've been watching, because I got the itch, right, over all this Keegan Kline transcript of the interview. And you guys know from my last video that I had to take down that one of the many reasons why I question that document is the way and the verbiage that law enforcement is using in that document, in that interview. It's a bunch of bullshit. They're basically showing their hand, which is not going to happen in a big CSAM or a double homicide that's like nationally covered. That's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. If anything, and everybody accuses law enforcement of lying, but I'm here to tell you they're deflecting. They're using whatever tools are necessary. They can't flat out lie because they will lose the case on appeal if they do. But every other time, cops are a bunch of liars. Cops are a bunch of liars. But now all of a sudden they're not a bunch of liars, right? Because that fits what everybody wants, their agenda. All these people, YouTube creators, I don't know what the hell they're creating. Creating agita for me is what they're creating. But if it works in their language, to suit their needs, then that's fine. Law enforcement's lying now. So I've been watching a bunch of interviews, right, on YouTube, on Netflix, and stuff like that. So, and you guys should really understand this, and let me educate you. Not that you guys would ever be in that position, okay? Now, as a viewer, when you're watching these police interrogations, police usually make it look pretty easy, right? And there'll be somebody narrating who's explaining what law enforcement is doing. They're scooting in close to this person, trying to go for the kill, invading their space, or comforting them. They set the room up in a certain way so that when they come in the door, they automatically make that person feel like they can't leave, and they do. And this is all on purpose. That's why there's no art on the wall or anything. It's a very cold, drab environment. They're trying to gain the upper hand on this person's psyche, okay? Which should be a defense in trial, right? Because they've proven this. They have several different techniques. Like I said, I learned the read technique, okay? And it's effective and it works, but only because people allow it to work. They're susceptible to these tactics. If I've said right from Jump Street, man, I want to see the video from Keegan Klein's interview, because I don't believe any of this shit. I want to see the video, right? But for two reasons. If it turns out that I'm absolutely wrong, that those transcripts are legit, I would like to hope that law enforcement was speaking to him like that for a reason. They have a plan that they're working on, and we just don't know which direction they're going now. But I'm sure it's a good plan. So, but what people don't understand is that you, as the interviewee, if you were smart, you would be reading their body language. We're all people. Those detectives are people too. They have body language. When you can see it, next time you watch one of those interrogation or police interviews, right? They point out right away that, oh, the suspect sat back. He's trying to distance himself and blah, 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 blah. Well, then, okay, so the detective moved in closer because he's trying to go for the kill. No, to me, the detective's moving in closer because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's trying to shock this guy into saying something. And when they say things like, oh, and the detectives changed tactics, that's because they didn't have a clue. They were screwed, you know? And when somebody says, I want an attorney, that's it. That's it. Interview's over. You know, they'll try to get them to re-agree to their rights and talk a little bit more. But once they say they want an attorney, if you have a lawyer that's worth a shit, they're going to get you off just on that. But I don't feel, I'm pro law enforcement. I'm all for it, man. Keep that effort talking, you know. And false information, right? In both cases, it's pissed me off. Do you remember the whole thing that, oh yeah, Rick Allen got caught because he robbed one of his neighbor's garage, and they went there to search his house for that stolen item? Bullshit. Never happened. Remember, that was the big news. That was running around. Now, what happened to that? That went away, right? Footprints led law enforcement to the crime scene in Delphi. Footprints, right? Where'd that go? Whose footprints were they? You know, it's just, I just don't understand it, guys. I don't understand how all this bogus information gets out there. People run with it, and then nobody has to face the facts on it. You know, the people that say this shit don't have to pay the piper. They just keep going and they move on to the next thing. I watched another YouTuber the other day, and mark my words, was the clickbait. Mark my words on this. The who's that little girl that's missing. What is her name? Is it Wells? No, it's not, Andy. Common sense. Common sense is not a weed that grows in everybody's garden. I'm not saying that I have common sense, but I can damn sure spot when somebody doesn't have it. That's for sure. Who is that little girl's name? Summer Wells. There you go. Yes, thank you, Tina. This guy got on just to say that, just to say, mark my words, that there's going to be a big development coming up and it's going to happen so fast it's going to make your head spin. I've been watching this guy for months. I used to like him. He says the most outlandish shit, and he has thousands of subscribers. Thousands. Like 50, 60 or something, like some ridiculous number like that. And he's been around since 2011. But over and over and over, he says shit like that, and it just doesn't come to fruition. And he doesn't give a shit. He moves on to the next statement that he's going to make. I should take like 2 months and put together a tape of all the shit these people say and how it's proven wrong, and then see how they address it. And I'll tell you how they address it. They do not. When news agencies make a mistake and they put out a bad report, very, very, very seldom, only if they're threatened with a lawsuit, do they redact that. So it's a crock of shit. It's a crock of shit. So I just decided that, I need to get out of that community. All these people that are putting out things just to put things out. Clickbait. You get one shot with me. If it's clickbait, I'm out. Unsubscribe. I'm looking for information. I'm not looking for a way to kill an hour so I can be disappointed at the end of it. Now it's a social event. I enjoy people in the chat. All you guys are cool as hell, and I've seen you all in other creators' chats and on their videos. I learn more from the people in the chat rooms than I ever do from the creators, ever. And some of them, they don't go live. They make videos, and they're very well produced. And I let them know that. I send them a message telling, I wish I had half their skill on producing these things, even though I don't agree with what they're doing, but it's working. It's working. They're getting likes. They're getting subscribers. They're getting view times. They have, I'm watching super stickers. I don't even know how all that stuff works, but Patreon, PayPal, you name it. The people are sending them money for what? I don't know. I have no idea, but these people sign up and pay monthly, and to be members and stuff like that. I don't yet understand how all of that works. Now, there's a few channels that, I would love to be a member and have like members only, like on Friday and Saturday nights. I guess it cuts the traffic down on the chat. We have a little bit more access to what's actually going on with that creator. But you have to really have, you have to connect with that. I would, anyways, to pay anybody for the privilege of talking to them. If you think about it, that's what we'd be doing, is paying for the privilege to talk about them. I don't mind making money off of ads. No, that'd be great. YouTube can pay me, but super stickers and stuff like that, I don't want people giving up their hard-earned money. What, to listen to me babble? No. But some people, man, they do it. They do it like crazy. Now, Keegan Kline, right? We already went over that, and we need to get back into this because that's going to be coming up pretty soon. There's really not anything on the Idaho case, and we won't hear anything. They put that out 6 months, so that's it for that for a while. People are going to make shit up. And I don't mind at all. Anybody who's a member of my Discord, or when I'm on here, or you want to send me a message or whatever, I'm certainly willing to help you figure it out. And I'd love for you guys to help me figure some things out too. I still can't find. I've been looking for, from what I understand, Doug Carter addressed that. Oh, did he, Indy? I don't doubt it at all. They'll just keep. You know why he's negotiating? And I don't understand. Well, I do understand why, because there's a double homicide case on two juveniles that's make national attention. That's his bargaining tool right now. Otherwise, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything. He's in trouble. He's allegedly a pedophile. Allegedly. I found out today too. I have to be careful what I say because YouTube will cut me off. So that's what I'm. But I need to do that. I need to find out who these people are on YouTube and vet them. Before they can do anything to me. They have to prove that they're not total assholes first. Yeah, yeah. They can get. Indy Pam asked, can he just keep getting continuances? Yes, absolutely. Until the judge gets sick of it. That's the only thing. Or the judge dies and a new judge comes in, or the judge gets somebody else gets elected and they get out of office or whatever. They lose their spot. But yeah, as long as there's a reason. And if they're making this really easy for him to get these continuances, and think about it, please, just for a second. They've already dropped 5 charges, right? Now, I would love to say, oh, they dropped those because he snitched on Richard Allen. That's how they got Richard Allen, that stuff with the Wabash and him snitching. So that's why they dropped 5 charges. Well, that's not always the case. Some of these victims, they don't even know who they are, so they can't prove that they're underage. Some of them, they're straight speculating. Some of them, the victims do not want to testify. So they can find out who those people are just as easy as they find out who Keegan Kline is. I doubt that any of these juvenile kids that are sending naked pictures of themselves are using a VPN or know anything about a VPN or anything like that. So, yeah, time. He's involved. I mean, you guys all know how I feel about Keegan Kline. He's involved. He's knee deep in it. There's no way he's not involved. Put it that way. There's no way that he's not. And how people are not seeing that. I mean, law enforcement's pretty coy, especially on Doug Carter. He's really good at his job. He's an asset to the state of Indiana. There's no doubt about that. But he knows his shit and he knows how to do it. And he's been doing it for a long time. He's a very, very likable gentleman. And he doesn't get overly emotional and stuff like that. He does, and I believe it's genuine. I don't think any of it's disingenuine. I think it's genuine, his emotions. But I mean, he doesn't get pissed off and fly off the handle and stuff like that. So he knows if he talks, people know that. Yeah, it does pass time, especially with me when you listen to my stuff. It's more babbling. It's like I said, I found out that I think it's like 8 minutes is the average that people watch my videos. So I'm going to start putting all the good stuff in the first 8 minutes, make it worth their while, and then maybe they'll stay longer and get to know me a little bit, see what I'm about. So we have got 6 months-ish, right, to wait on Brian Kohlberg's case. He has not even pled yet. He hasn't pled guilty, not guilty, no contest. F you, kiss my ass, nothing. So he has got to, he's wanting to find out what more evidence they have. Now, they filed with the state about a co-defendant as her co-defendant that's been named. Don't read into that too much. That's SOP. That's standard operating procedures. Basically, what they're saying is there somebody else that you're looking at? Because you have to tell us if there is, but there's not. There's not. He did it himself. There's not. They've got way more evidence on him as well. I don't know what's more interesting, the way Idaho's going about it or the way Indiana's going about it. They're both keeping it extremely close to the chest, and they're not just letting information out. They're not. And I think that's fantastic. I mean, that's unheard of. Think about it. All of us, we can't keep our mouths shut for 2 seconds. I know I certainly can't. Let me see what Kid has to say. Well, here's the thing, Kid, and I said this last video. If you know anybody, right, in law enforcement, or know anybody that knows somebody, or if you want to ask somebody, law enforcement does not play with CSAM. Okay, he should have been arrested in 2017, period, end of story. Doesn't matter if he's going to cooperate. Great, you can cooperate from prison, dude, because we're not leaving you walking the street because you are definitely a threat to our children. Period. Now, if you do believe these transcripts, right, a lot of it's redacted. Look at the kind of shit that he was talking to these kids. You know, they don't even know they're kids. They're trying to act like adults. They're dealing with this guy like they want to be treated like an adult, and they think that, you know, sex is part of that, being an adult. And he was feeding on it. So he's definitely a problem for law enforcement. You can't just leave him out. I don't know, Indy Pam. I don't know why they didn't arrest him in 2017. That frustrates the shit out of me. I don't know. If, and this is a big if he said, hey, I know who killed those 2 girls. Maybe. But then what, he strung them along for 3 years? I don't buy it. It's something happened there, and we'll find out eventually. You know, I mean, you got to look at it like this, man. There's ex-FBI people who are jumping in here, giving their comments and their opinions and all that. They don't know shit. You know why? Even though that they're retired FBI, they'll call to get information, and they'll tell them to go pound sand. They'll tell them to go outside and play hide and go fuck themselves. So I certainly couldn't get anything as a retired deputy, you know, but he should have been arrested in 2017. That's something that nobody really talks about much, but to me, it's huge. I mean, that is the elephant in the room. That's the elephant in the room. Think about it. If you're one of the victim's parents, right? And this guy's walking the street, he's lucky he's alive. So they must have kept all that hush-hush, because when did we find out about Keegan Kline having a bunch of CSAM? That document, the transcript from the interrogation. Why would law enforcement give the okay for murder sheets to put that out? Why? Because now we've got this question, don't we? WTF? You know, how are you guys letting this guy walk? Now we have this question. It's crazy. I don't understand it. And you don't have to be from a law enforcement background and say, oh, that's wrong. Why is that happening? And there's just a bunch of things on that document that I question, you know? 5/17/2016. I'm talking about when they did the search warrant a couple weeks after the murders. They may have been looking at him, Tina, but I don't think they had anything on him. I'm gonna have to go check. I'll look on my case and check it out. Now I did look just to follow up because I read all his cases before, and he does have he was disseminating CSAM. So was that to the Dropbox or what? I mean, we don't know that. They didn't elaborate, and they won't. And they won't elaborate. And everybody keeps going right by Rick Allen's charges too. I'm here to tell you, they just need to prove that he kidnapped the girls and that he knew by kidnapping him that they were going to be killed. To me, that's a whole story. That's a whole story. And how do you get kidnapping out of that? Was he planning on abducting them from the end of the bridge and walking them all the way to the Child Protective Service building, old Child Protective Service? No, absolutely not. He'd have to be an idiot to do that. So what do they know about that? They know a lot. They know a lot. The Anthony shots. They knew about the Anthony shots by February 15th, latest. Latest. We didn't hear about Anthony shots until 2020. So they knew all that. They've already been knee deep in the Keaton Klein's ass. They knew about all that. And so what else do they know? And that's what I'm saying. If we put our heads together, we could probably surmise where they're heading with it and what they're doing. My big thing is, though, I'm stuck because I don't know if I believe that transcript of his interrogation is legit, if that's valid. A lot of that verbiage on there just doesn't make sense to me. That's law enforcement swinging for the fences because they have no idea what's going on. And you can't tell me that they don't know what's going on. They knew about Anthony shots from February 2017. So, yeah, hard to figure out, isn't it? It's an enigma. But it keeps me awake at night. I'm not kidding you. I sit there and I just rack my brain. It's like, how the hell, what is law enforcement up to? You know, what's the end game? What's the end game for this? Is this going to be this big, huge takedown, this big, huge pedo ring? And there's a lot of government officials involved and all that. That all sounds very romantic and, oh man, that'd be great. But what if it's not? What, you know? And I hope that it's not that, law enforcement is just screwing up. I don't think so. I think that they've got a plan and they're putting it into action and they're actually doing a good job. We didn't know anything about a bullet, not one. Here's a good one for you. You name me one YouTube creator that had Richard Allen on his radar. Name one. Go ahead. I'll wait. You know how many knew who Richard Allen was? Let me see. Carry the 3. None. 0. So all this true crime sleuthing and web sleuthing and all that, you get over yourself. And as another thing, too, you see them clamor. They say so much shit that they're going to be right about little tiny things. But Jesus, don't let them find out. Don't let them find out. Yeah, time I heard Reddit had hints, too. But can you prove that to me? Because I heard that. I didn't see it. I've heard that. It's just like the wiki stuff. Somebody put something on wiki, put RA on the bullshit. It's such a bunch of bullshit. It's just such a bunch. 8 crow for what, kid? What did your POI turn out to not be legit or something? But see, listen, I don't have an axe to grind, kid, with any of that. If somebody's wrong about their POI, but the whole time they backed it up and left themselves susceptible to, prove me wrong, you know, um, I have no problem with that. I respect detectives. None of us, none of us have detective skills, kid. None of us do. But I'll tell you what, man, this is a group of you guys, and I mean it, honestly. We got some really smart people just here in this chat today. Um, it's just, man, we can't get our shit together. We can't get over the hump because we're being fed misinformation. Yeah, Indy Pam, there's gotta be bigger fish. There has to be. There has to be. Oh, you thought it was an incel? Now you talking about Delphi or Idaho, kid? I don't even know what an incel is. Involuntarily celibate. Give me a break. Give me a break. We were all like that when we were young. I always, all the people, there's a lot of Europeans that are in that all over the internet, and they like soccer, and I can't stand watching soccer. But my big my big joke is, yeah, I'm one of those nerds. Time. My big jokes is if I want to watch 11 of my friends run around trying to score all day and not, I'll just go out drinking with 11 of my buddies. I don't have to watch soccer. Angela, what's up? What's up? Hi, Caroline. Now, one of you guys, I think it was you, Angela, that said I should load my videos up. I am not very YouTube literate at all. So if you could help me out with that, I don't know. I have the link in the description. Actually, I can put it in here too. See that? I look stupid from far away, but the closer I get, the smarter I look. Now, before I screw this up, let me make sure that I have the right thing. I'm going to put the link to my Discord, because if you guys go in the Discord, and I don't bother anybody, trust me, anybody that's in there now will tell you. But it's a place where we can all talk and share information and stuff like that. And Tina and Time, I see that you guys put something in there, and I'll get to it. I just want to get through this. But that's my Discord right there. If you join that, Angela, you can help me out and tell me what I need to do. I know you're assuming that my wife knows, because you get your wife to help you. And I was like, oh, haha, she knows less than I do. She really does. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. It's not even content. It's just me running my fat mouth, but I've just been around it so long. I've been, oh, God, I have had so many probable cause affidavits in my hand, my fat little freaking fingers. I've been in so many court cases. I've been in so many advisories. I've been involved with interrogations, investigations, taking witness reports, turning in witness reports, evidence collection, all of that. It just comes to you. You don't. You tell, yeah, help me is right. But I'm sure you guys all are very good at your professions, right? And you don't even realize it, and you won't until, I'm going to be 59 next month, and it's taken me all this time to realize that, wow, I know a lot of shit. But it was just my job. I did it because when I get out of the Air Force, I was young. My family was young. One son was 1.5 years old. The other one was 6 months old. It was a recession. I told my wife, I'm either going to do law enforcement or trash collection. There's two things you'll never get laid off from. But there's always going to be trash, always going to be crooks. But I should have went trash collection because that is also all you can eat. So I didn't even think of that. I was stupid back then. But I'm not one of these, like my son, the detective now. Oh, he wanted to be a cop from Jump Street. From Jump Street, he wanted to be like Dad, you know. But me, no, I didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to be a police officer. I didn't want to be any of that. I never really had much ambition, to be honest with you. Hang out with my buddies, play music. I was in bands and in the sports and stuff like that. But I never, if you told me back when I was 14, 15, 16, as a matter of fact, all my friends back home in Massachusetts, they're like, you, what? You're in law enforcement? Don't they check you before you get those jobs? Cheers. Now, and I touched base on this a little bit. If you guys ever find yourself going to get interviewed by the police, okay, focus on their body language. Focus on what they're doing, because that's what they're doing to you. And they're human beings just like you are. Okay, so they're going to give you the same signals that you're giving them. What's the difference? They're trained. They're trained to see it. They're trained to get those signals from you, how to generate things to get you to act in a certain way. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. You're both people. You're the same as them. They're just trained. That's the only difference. They're trained. And polygraph, never take it. Ever. Ever can never help you. Can only hurt you. And if I can give all you guys the biggest piece of advice I could ever give you, if you ever get pulled over and you were drinking, do not do field sobriety tests. They're not pass or fail. They are not pass or fail. Once you start that sobriety test, you are not leaving. They'll make you believe that, oh, well, if you can do these things, we'll let you go. You're not impaired, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Field sobriety tests have one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to collect more evidence against you. That's it. That's it. You're screwed. So, no, I'm not taking a field sobriety test, and no, I'm not blowing in that little machine. Okay, babe? So just take me to the jail, and I'll be out in the morning, I'll get an attorney, and I'll beat this. So have a good day. Now, if you're out there drinking and driving and you're smashed, that's no good. But I've seen people have CDLs, truck drivers, who are not even really buzzed, who get brought in DUI. Whole life ruined. Whole life. They lose their CDL, you know, and for what? For what? Because this cop wants to be a prick? No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Not all cops are cool. Not all bakers are cool, you know? I like your skills, but it's your calm demeanor, great communication, and lovely personality. Thank you, Caroline. Where in the UK are you? I was at Lakenheath down south near London. I loved it. Man, I loved it. I had so much fun at the pubs. Walking back home to the base from the pubs, stopping and getting fish and chips. I used to like Fried Place was the name of the fish that I liked. Place was the name of it. Loved it. Huge difference between American French fries and British chips. Amazing difference. And they put fried pickles way before Americans knew anything about it on the bar. Pickled onions, pickled eggs, and fried pickles on the bar. Man, it make you want to drink. So salty, it was crazy. All right, so we've got a few things, right, that we need to look into and consider. I don't know if I told you guys this. I hate to repeat myself if I did. I called Miami County, Idaho. Called them. Can't get place near Manchester. Okay. I like cod too. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. So we had cod there and haddock and stuff like that. But you know, I'm aging myself here, Caroline, and I don't want to age you either. But when I was over in England, I liked Liverpool. and my favorite player was Ian Rush. And in cricket, I liked Graham Gooch. And John, I remember his last name, professional dart player, John Lowe. John Lowe beat me 3 games in a row from his knees. On his freaking knees. And, you know, I had the $100 darts, the unicorn darts with the slick stick shafts and all that. And he's throwing 180s from his knees. Great guy, though. Great guy. John Lowe was a fantastic guy. I was just a kid, man. I was 21. I had so much fun over there, though. Had so much fun. You don't know any of those names, okay? Well, that's a little bit before your time. I'm 7 years older than you are, Caroline. 8. I'm going to be 59 here next month. But if we can, I called Miami County. That's what I started saying. And I talked to a woman, Marianne Luck, in the records department. And, oh, hang on a second. She was very nice. And I called and I got the machine. So I left a message saying that, hey, you know, I told her what my name is. I'm a retired deputy from Pasco County, Florida. And I'm calling actually about the Keegan Klein case, about his transcript of his police interrogation. I don't believe that it's legit. So if you would, please give me a call back. And I left her my number. And surprise, surprise, she called me back in like an hour. And yeah, that was on Monday. Oops. You know, I've got an iPhone 14 and I hit the wrong button so it calls, and I do that all the time. That's crazy. But I talked to her for 4 minutes. But that's the number, right? And that's Peru. But it's the Miami County Clerk's office. And excellent people. They were so nice. She transferred me upstairs. Had to leave another message there, but they haven't heard. They don't know anything about a document getting released by accident. So shady. That's what it looks like to me. But I didn't hear about anybody. I don't know if you guys did. I didn't hear about any clerk's head rolling or anything like that when that document got released. That went into the public portal. So, and I asked Greenlee, and he said, yep, that's how I got it. I was just looking for Keegan Klein's address and where he's at, and that happened to be there, and I downloaded it right away. So I didn't want to tell him he's full of shit, but I don't believe that document's legit. And if that's the case, okay, now just think about it. If that interrogation transcript is not true, all right, if it was fabricated, wow, holy shit, most of the information that we take for granted came from that. So, and I'll tell you another thing I'm sick of. People reading it. I watched a thing today, some guy, Gravy, whatever his name is, he was reading Keegan's part, and some female was reading the detective's part. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you, spend all that time reading that? And for what? Your fluctuation in voice is probably wrong. And your tone of voice is probably wrong. We haven't heard the interview. We've read it. So what are you accomplishing by reading it? I mean, that shit does not make sense to me. Is that entertainment to you guys? I don't consider it entertainment. I cut it right off. I was like, this is stupid. This makes as much sense as two boys fucking. Oh, potty mouth. Sorry about that, Tina. But that's pretty much all I have. There's really nothing going on in either case. Does not matter which public defender takes care of Brian Kohlberger, he's screwed. So whoever, whether it's Ann, and I'm sure she wants to stay on that case instead of Zaina's mom, because she'll get more attention out of that case, even though she's going to lose. But see, those people are dangerous. Those people are dangerous. Those public defenders that have nothing to lose, they're going to try everything, anything and everything, as outlandish as they can get to even win one battle in that case. I can't see them winning any of them. We don't even have all the evidence yet. He may just plead out. That's probably the biggest reason that they stretched it out 6 more months so they can see what else they got and circle the wagons, you know. But if I come up with anything else, I'll do another live. But I'll try and do it at least once a week just so we can talk and keep in touch. I missed you guys. I'm so bummed out that I had to take over 2 hours. I talked, and I had to take that down. And it was like my best video. It was my best video. For some reason, people enjoyed it and they were watching it. Well, I lost all that view time and all that, you know. Yeah, what are you going to do? But I did hit 50 or 51 subscribers, so that's cool. I never thought I would get to 25, so getting to 50 is really cool. But thank you, Indy Pam. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was hoping in Caroline it can come back on, you know. But I can't see it. I can't see it because it's mine. If it was somebody else's, they'd let it go. But since it's mine, they're gonna hammer me. They don't like Bostonians. Yeah. No, I learned my lesson. You know, if I have to take a picture of the sky every day and use that for a background, I'll do that. I just thought it'd be interesting to have those really nice 4K walks in the woods. I thought that was nice, but obviously you can't do that. Even if I put that guy's name and gave him props and stuff like that, they said, no, you can't do that. So, but if you guys would just tell your friends, just tell them to give a listen. They don't like me, they can tell me they don't like me. And if you guys join the Discord, it's free. It's absolutely free. Nobody's going to bother you. But you can send me messages and stuff and actually talk like we're on the phone. There was me, Time, and Deja Vu were talking the other night, and we had a blast. We had a blast talking. And it doesn't cost anything, which is nice. It's sweet. All right. So thank you guys for coming. I'm sure you've noticed I've got a hooded sweatshirt on and a hat. I'm going to sleep in my tent tonight outside because my grandson and I are going to be going bike camping as soon as I heal up. And it's going to be below freezing tonight. So I'm sure I'm going to regret that. But I got to do it. I can't back out. I can't let him down. But you guys have a great night, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. I really do. Yeah, you have no idea. It's fun. It's fun talking with you guys. My name is Ruckus, and I am 10-7.